Hello my friends and welcome back. I hope everyone's well, and we have arrived to the second video of my push-pull leg home workout series. So it's push day. So it's push workout. So I will present my push workout for you guys. Today I'm training chest, shoulders and triceps at home. So push is my favorite exercise to do at home because it's versatility and the number of choices you have. You have a huge number of body weight workouts you can do, and if you have invested in some home equipment as well, minimal things like resistance bands or some small dumbbells like I did as well. I presented them to you guys in my last video I made about my leg workout. So with this tiny incredible bits of kit, you can double, even triple up the number of exercises you have available for each muscle group. So as I said, this is my second episode of my push, pull and leg workout series. So before we jump into this video, if you haven't seen the first episode, my leg workout, just go and click on the pop-up banner and you can watch it. I mentioned in my first video how important the warm-ups are for me and how much time I spend on them. This doesn't really change with any muscle group I train. The only thing changes is that after my basic everyday warm-up, I do some specific ones for the particular muscle groups I train on that day. So nothing really new. I warm up from top to bottom again. I warm up my neck, then I go over to traps, then I go over to shoulders, and then comes the core. However, because it's a push workout, I will focus a lot this time to warm up my shoulders very well. So to begin with, I will do lots of arm circles. I'll start with small ones, then I go over to shoulder rotations. For the next one I will do a couple of different chest expansions as well. And when I'm done with all that, I will do some internal rotation and external rotation warm-up exercises with my dumbbell. And last but not least, I take my elastic band and I will do a variety of warm-up exercises with that. I'm not rushing anything. My only goal with the warm-up is to pump some blood in the muscles and to warm up the joints to be ready for the upcoming stress. Just so you know, I do these exact exercises when I'm training in the gym as well, so home workouts or not, I just warm up properly all the time. As you saw with my leg day as well, the first exercise will be kind of part of the warm-up process as well. I will do 3 sets of bodyweight push-ups. Now push-ups can be done in a lot of different ways, as you will see that in this video, but you need to make sure when you are doing a push-up, you are targeting the muscle you meant to train. So if I start my push day with chest, which I did, my main focus is to have my back straight, to have my chest out. With these, you will try to avoid the help of your shoulders and triceps as much as possible. Also very similar to my leg workout, I do pose reps. I keep the tension as much as possible in the bottom part of the movement and as less as possible on the top part of the movement. To be honest, I'm not even pushing it out 100% for the exact same reasons, trying to keep my shoulders and my triceps out of the game. My rep range is always between 15 and 20, as I said, posed in the bottom part of the movement for extra tension, and that will give me a great first exercise and a proper warm-up. After I finish with my first exercise, all I do is I make it a bit harder. You can make it spicy in a lot of different ways. You can use resistance bands, you can put weight on your back, you can put your child on your back or your wife, who knows. But because most of the time I'm training alone, even in the gym, what I do now is incline push-ups. So I put my legs up on the sofa, I use normal wide grip like with the first exercise. But what will be different this time is that I will grab my dumbbells in my hands, so my grip will be very similar to holding a bar, for example. The reason why I'm doing that is because, first of all, I'm much stronger if I can grab the bar properly like I used to in the gym. Second thing being that with an incline push-up, my wrist is getting in a weird position. Instead of focusing on the exercise itself, I will constantly focus on my wrist, which are hurting, and then I get upset and then I won't be 100%, so I just try to avoid it. I'll try to treat this set as my first working set, therefore I will implement progressive overload. That simply means first set with body weight only, second set with the smaller resistance band, and third and fourth set with the thicker resistance band. Being my main working set, I will do 4 sets of 12 to 15. Exact same principles, shoulders and scapula retracted as much as possible, so you're targeting the chest. Nice wide grip. You can do post reps as I try to do most of the time, but even if you're not doing post reps, try to focus on the negative part of the movement, control it and slow it down as much as possible. And again, I'm not pushing it out 100% to save my shoulders and triceps working, because that's coming later on. I'm showing you these exercises from different camera angles, so you can see clearly what is the position of my chest, what is the position of my shoulders when I'm doing exercise, how high and how low I'm going, and so on. But really, mind and muscle connection is the most important, so you can focus on what you are actually trying to target. After that, my specialist tool is getting revealed. Just joking, there's nothing special about that, it's just a random pan. But bear in mind, I didn't choose the pan for its shininess or for its color. I've chosen this pan because it's the tallest one I have. So since the lockdown, this exercise became one of my favorite ones. One, because it's a bit different. Second, because it makes your workout harder and your muscles to work harder. I also love it because it improves your explosiveness. So what it does, the side, which is on the pan, will get some extra stretch in the bottom part of the movement, but you will need a lot of extra strength to push it up. And combining and alternating between the two sides like this, it will give you both a great pump but a lot of fatigue as well. Currently, I only managed to do 3 sets of 10 of this exercise, sometimes even less on the third set. After these 3 different types of push exercises, it's a kind of relief for me to do something which is stretching my pecs a little bit. So I take advantage of my rusty dumbbells, which I managed to purchase before quarantine. I will lay on the corner of my sofa and I will do some dumbbell flies, as the weight is a lot lower than what I used to in the gym. I'm doing the reps a lot slower, controlling the movement the whole way down. Probably I'll go a bit wider and lower as well in the negative part of the movement. Try to keep it down, trying to make it sort of post rep as well, and doing 15 to 20 reps. After the 3 sets of dumbbell flies, I will move over to shoulders. When you are moving over to shoulders after you did chest, you will notice that your shoulders, inevitably, they had a hit. Even if you tried your best, even if you try to keep the tension on chest and avoid shoulder and triceps, you cannot exclude them 100%. This is equally good and bad. It's good because it's all warmed up first of all, and then it's also good because you worked the shoulders before you actually moved on to shoulder workout. But it's also bad because if you are trying to do the exercise, which I will show you now, you will probably struggle to do your maximum. This is bodyweight shoulder press. I'm using the exact same grip with the dumbbells like I did for the incline push-ups. And the benefits, apart from of course not getting your wrist completely killed, is that you get a bit more range of motion on the way down as well, and my massive head wouldn't get to the floor as quick as it would normally. To be completely honest with you, the amount of reps depends entirely on how tired I am and what I did before. Very, very rarely it happens that I do only shoulders and abs, for example, or just shoulders and arms. In that case, I will manage to do 4 sets of 10 to 12. But in this very case, for example, I only managed to do 4 sets of 8 and sometimes 7. After the bodyweight shoulder press, I am moving over to real delts. The reason why I do real delts for second exercise rather than doing mid delt, for example, is that my front delts, they had a lot of hit from all the chest and shoulder push-ups and everything, and I like to balance it, so I do the exact reverse, trying to hit the rear part of the delt. And the second reason is that your rear delts are very small muscle group and quite weak in my opinion at least, and I'm trying to train them while they're still strong and able to keep up with the stress. I am doing very simple real dead flies. This is the only case when I can say that my weights are perfect. In most cases I am able to do between 10 and 12 reps, and I'm doing the classic 4 sets of this one. Now you will see 2 different camera angles from this one as well, just for you to be able to watch the movement and also to see what is working the most with this exercise. When you are doing the real dead flies, you will definitely, or at least I definitely, feel a pinch on the top part of the movement. I always suggest to keep the pressure as long as possible when you feel that pinch. Obviously this is going to be near impossible to hold the dumbbells or to hold the weights at the peak of the movement, but I'm a massive believer in the more you can hold it there, the more quality of your reps are. You can work your real delts really well with your resistance bands as well, but I'm planning to do a future video of only particular muscle groups, chest, shoulders and back individually, so you will more likely see those exercises there. But for the time being, we'll move on with the push day. My next exercise for shoulders will be overhead press. Since I don't have a lot of weights available here, I am doing whatever I can. So I start with my small dumbbells. I do 20 controlled nice slow reps, and after that I will move on to single hand overhead press with elastic bands. I will take the smaller one, I will do 12 reps per hand, and then I will take the harder one and do only 10 reps per hand. To be 100% honest with you, after these push exercises you won't be overly strong doing overhead press at all. And then it's time for mid delt, I guess. So mid delt, most common exercise is lateral raise. Lateral raise can be done in a ton of different ways. It can be done with dumbbells, it can be done standing, seated, with cables, with resistance bands. Well, of course you don't have cables at the moment, and my weights are rubbish as well. So what I do, this is a very common technique applied by many people when you are not in possession of proper weights. You take them, you are holding one hand, doing 6 or 10 reps with one, then hold that one and do 6 or 10 reps with the other one, and then keep swapping them. Now it's entirely up to everyone. You can hold one hand and do 10 reps with one. So what I did, holding one hand, doing 6 reps with the other one, swapping, doing 6 reps, swapping 6 and swapping 6. So I ended up with 12 reps on each hand. Done this way made it a lot harder. Now regarding to lateral raise, it's a bit difficult to say the best way or the most effective way in doing it. A lot of people recommend one way to do it, a lot of people recommend another way to do it, a lot of people recommend to lift the weights up a lot, other people not recommending at all. Again, in my opinion, all it matters is mind and muscle connection. If you are not feeling the muscle you are trying to target and you are training, it's something wrong. The only thing I tend to see from people I'm trying to help, because I'm not a personal trainer, but I'm still helping a lot of people in achieving their goals. If you are doing this exercise standing, you need to eliminate leg work and you need to eliminate swinging. If you won't be able to manage that, you need to do it seated. I've seen a lot of people doing lateral raise with ridiculous weights, and when I ask them to do it seated, they haven't been able to lift the quarter of that. But you need to have one thing in your mind: if you are doing it wrong, you are just wasting the time. Another very popular trend in regards to this exercise is using your traps too much. People doing this thing, so that will end up your traps taking over the work, your shoulders getting underdeveloped. If that's the case, all you need to do is lower the weight and try to do it with your traps down and to see how it works, and just building it up from scratch, from zero again. After the lateral raise, I moved over to front raises. front raises, again, can be done with dumbbells, can be done with a plate, doing it like this. You can do it with different grips. Since I'm in quarantine, all I can use is my small dumbbells, of course, and my resistance bands. So I will present this exercise to you doing it with my dumbbells as well as my resistance bands, so you can see it. The focus with this one has to be on not using your legs and hips, aka not swinging, and try to hold tension as much as possible on the top part of the movement, again when you feel that pinch on the top. And the rep range will only depend on what you have available, what dumbbells or what sort of resistance bands you have. After this one, I moved over to triceps. This is the last muscle group I train with my push workout. After doing chest and shoulders, even if you are doing it at home, you should have your triceps quite well worked already at this point. But anyway, we'll try to have some sort of system. When I'm training triceps in the gym, I always do 3 to 4 sets of cable tricep pushdowns, as the cables always put less pressure on your joints. I always used them to warm up my elbows really well, because they can suffer a lot and they can get damaged really easily doing triceps. So what is the closest thing to cable pushdowns? Well, closest thing is obviously resistance band pushdowns. You need to put it on something which will hold it to you and you can do the exercise. Please be very careful, because you can see a ton of accidents from carelessness. People just chucking the bands everywhere. They start to do the workout and they get slapped in the face, on the neck, everywhere, as well as painful. Very, very hilarious, because it's entirely up to you where you put the bands, and it's for your own safety, so please be careful with that. What I focus on with this exercise is simply contraction. Just hold the bands on the way back and keep tension on the negative part of the movement, and when you push out, just push it out and lock it out completely. If you are doing it that way, you will feel a very, very strong squeeze and pinch at the top of the movement, and your triceps will be on fire before even moving on. After I finish with this one, I will carry on with my main tricep exercise, which, as well as triceps, is a lot of chest, but I don't mind it because, hey, it's push day, why not? So I quickly grab 2 of my chairs, I put them back to back, and I will do dips. Now, you have 2 things you can do in order to get your dips tricep focused rather than chest. First one is that whatever you are doing dips on, to put them as narrow as possible, and the second one is to not bend forward when you are doing the exercise. As you can see here, when I'm doing the exercise, I try my best, but unfortunately my chairs are not the stablest thing in the planet. They felt pretty wobbly and unsafe, so I only tried to do the best I could. I did 4 sets of 10, and at this point I wouldn't be able to manage anymore. Moving forward, I took one of my chairs away, I left the other one, I sat down, I fixed my resistance bands to the leg of the chair, and I did overhead tricep extensions. I would be able to do overhead tricep extensions with dumbbells as well. Sometimes I do that, but for me, this sit version with resi bands, it's pretty challenging. I get a really nice range of motion, and I'm just a bigger fan of this one. Last but not least, you will have the single arm tricep kickback. I can manage to do the exact quantity and quality with this exercise like I'm used to from the gym. This is definitely not everyone's favorite. Not everyone is feeling it. Sometimes people saying that they only feel this exercise on the cable machine. I do understand them. I feel them on cables, on dumbbells. However I'm doing them, I do get a really good pump in my triceps from this one. In order to do this one correctly, you need to focus on your upper arm to be horizontal, and your forearm with the weight is not allowed to pass the 90-degree angle. So ideally, this is the furthest you should go with the weight on, and you need to go straight back on. Simple physique. After you go past this point, pretty much is no resistance or tension on your triceps whatsoever. So just try to keep as much tension as possible and to focus on the top part of the movement and just push it out completely as much you can. Now, the structure of the push day. Ideally, I only do 3 exercises for each muscle group. 3 for chest, 3 for shoulders, 3 for triceps. That would be more than enough if I do them correctly and I focus on them the best I can. Problem is, if you go past the 3 exercises per muscle group, the training will take a bit too long. In my opinion, the push day should not take more than 1 hour at home. 3 exercises for each muscle group, quality reps, higher rep range, and short rest. We are talking about body weight here, so that should work. For the sake of this video, obviously I did more than 3 exercises per muscle group, but I didn't cheat, I did them all well, just to give you guys a bit more variety and more choice. I know that I have some equipment, but this equipment is minimal, in my opinion, less than most people have in their garage. And even if you don't have any equipment whatsoever, you can get my body weight exercises and just use them until you get something. And also, as I said in my leg workout video, if you have a bit of imagination, you can use bottles of water, just chuck them in a bag and put them on your back, and there you go, you can do push-ups with that and you have some weight on your back. Another good reason why the push, pull and legs is a good solution for home workout is that you can target each muscle group several times on a week, because let's be honest, without weights and even with weights, if you are a natural bodybuilder or fitness enthusiast, with 1 workout per muscle group per week, you can't really get too far. Anyway, good or bad, this is what I do. I promised you a long time ago that I will show you my routine, and I am a man of my word, so I will do. As we are done with the legs and the push, the next one will be my pull workout, so stay tuned for that one as well. If you have enjoyed this video, or at least the edits from the beginning, please drop me a like, because that would help my work a lot. And please subscribe to my channel, because there are a lot of goodies coming up soon. Please stay safe in these crazy times, and I see you very soon. Bye bye.